Hello, thank you everyone for attending the Learn How to Buy and Sell the Hottest Cryptocurrencies webinar. My name is Jonathan Davis and I'll be presenting today's webinar. I just want to talk about the different currencies out there, the different cryptocurrencies, the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know, of course, Bitcoin is almost a household name at this point, the amount it's been in the news. Ethereum actually is up and coming. Cryptocurrency, which a lot of people actually speculate has the potential to knock the throne off Bitcoin. But what I'm going to do is first just tell you about ourselves. We are two-way markets. We're regulated by the FCA to help you with your trading needs. So, of course, you can find us all on the FCA register. That's not a problem. So, the purpose, again, of today's webinar is for me to inform you so you can make your own decisions about these cryptocurrencies and just then show you a solution called eToro, where you can actually buy, trade, invest, and follow other individuals. It's very unlike any other broker out there, really, the typical broker that is. But if I head on over, so the fundamentals of these cryptocurrencies, I know for a lot of individuals, perhaps the barrier to entry for them is that they don't know much about it. That's only natural. I know for myself, I first learned about Bitcoin back in 2012. Didn't do anything about it, although I was interested, because I simply didn't know how to. And I tell you, if I could go back in time, I would make a small fortune. But actually, on that note, I do have a few questions which I would like to ask you. First one being is, what is the biggest barrier to entry for you for these different cryptocurrencies? Just want to kind of gauge people's knowledge, really. So those options are ease of use, not enough knowledge, security, or if there's anything other than that, just please drop that in the message box. I'll just be very interested to know. I'll give that a few seconds, probably another 30 seconds. At the moment, 82% of people are saying not enough knowledge, and that certainly, as I said, was the reason why I didn't adopt it so early on. Ease of use, 11%. Again, I've got to admit, there are different ways of going about investing in these different cryptocurrencies. I'll go into that in a bit more information, or I believe you would have all received that booklet which we sent out. I hope you all found that useful, by the way, and if you do have any questions, of course, you're welcome just to email us. But that does go in a bit more detail as to the different methods. Okay, I'm just going to close that poll question now. The end results was 10% of people say ease of use, 81% says not enough knowledge, and 10% of people said security. Now I can go on to that in a bit more information later as well. The second question I would just like to quickly ask before we fully begin is just, are you currently trading? So, of course, everyone in today's webinar at some level has an interest in the markets. Just want to kind of gauge who actually is trading though. Okay. Thank you for everyone who's voted. The majority of people have. That's brilliant. I'm just going to close that now. 65% of people have said yes, and 35% have said no. Very interesting. Those 35%, I would be interested, of course, where you have displayed an interest in the market. What has prevented you from doing so? And hopefully, actually, today's webinar will actually help you make that step if that's something which is of interest to you. But brilliant. Thank you all who answered those questions. So, cryptocurrency fundamentals, just to let you know, and these are figures which I checked this morning, and I actually edited this presentation this morning just to make sure we had the correct figures, but Bitcoin is up 169% so far this year. Now, Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency, and I'll go into more detail regarding that, that's actually up 2,339% this year. That's year to date. Stuart said, already invested in missed Bitcoin. Yeah, well, as I say, people speculate there's still quite a bit room to grow. Of course, as traders, we want to make informed decisions and then do what we will. I know, of course, if you're using the likes of eToro, you can actually speculate whether it's going to go up or down. And making investments both on a short-term basis or perhaps a longer-term investment. But what is these cryptocurrencies? How do they differ from the typical cash in your wallet? Well, these cryptocurrencies, they're decentralized from the bank. They're distributed rather than stored centrally using what's known as blockchain technology. Now, blockchain technology, I wouldn't blame you if you haven't heard of it before. This is all very new to a lot of people, but I can assure you it is going to become a big buzzword in the next couple of years or so. That's the technology behind these different cryptocurrencies. In effect, it's essentially a digital ledger in which transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are recorded chronologically and publicly. I've just included a definition there for you. So each computer which joins the blockchain downloads effectively all the previous transactions which have ever taken place, and therefore it makes it very difficult for someone to forge a new Bitcoin or create anything new in that respect. It also, in terms of the technology behind it, will make it very easy to very quickly do transactions. So, for example, in this today's world, we have lots of contracts on a daily basis. There's lots of complexities involved in that, so a lot of analyzing and cross-referencing and communicating. But with the blockchain, this will become a thing of the past. So contracts and agreements would be automatically recorded, verified, and centrally accessible through the blockchain technology. Again, I know that sounds like a mumble jumble, I'm sure, but in the guide which we've sent across to you, it does go into a bit more detail with that. I'm sure what you guys, of course, are interested in are more the how to make money from it. Just know that blockchain technology can effectively, in the future, eliminate middlemen. And so for businesses, it could revolutionize them across a great range of different sectors. It will remove duplication of effort, unnecessary processes, and greater integrity of data. So very important there. Okay. And just a point I have made on this slide, currencies like Ethereum, which is the second biggest cryptocurrency, just so you know, can be appealing as a long-term investment where you can buy now in the hopes its value will go up astronomically in several years' time, just like Bitcoin has. Or you could look at shorter-term day trading to make quick profits. It is a very volatile market. Now, of course, the purpose of this webinar is just so you can make your own informed decisions, but a lot of individuals like exactly that. You can make short-term profits and you can also make longer-term profits. But what I want to show you is, well, what they call the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, which is a group of businesses which have all come together in effect just to advocate and also research blockchain technology. Now, the likes of Microsoft, Barclays, BP, well, you can see for yourself, there's a few household names in there. These are businesses which are proactively approaching this because this could revolutionize business in the future. And the likes of Ethereum and Bitcoin could be an essential part to that. It really does have a lot of potential. Whether or not we're at that stage yet, we don't know, but it's not a far stretch of the imagination to say that this could be what businesses use in the future. Okay, so how and where to buy and sell? There's really three ways of going about this. The first one being there is what's known as digital wallets. It's worth shopping around just to make sure that where you're buying, you get the best price. These are not the most user-friendly of interfaces, if I'm honest. Also, where there are lots of different wallet providers, you want to make sure who you're getting with is a trusted wallet, and you can withdraw your money easily. Unfortunately, there's sometimes a bit of a challenge just finding the right one, from my experience. The other option, the second option, is if you're technically minded, you can also mine for cryptocurrencies. Now, that might sound very confusing. It's very confusing to me, so don't worry. It really does take someone who's tech savvy to mine for cryptocurrencies, as it would involve buying cards for their computer, graphic cards, that kind of thing, in order to successfully make a return on investment on it. Essentially, where we have this blockchain technology, they are mining for new blocks. It sounds as if, long story short, that it's in effect creating new money. It's more complicated than that, but the guide goes over in a bit more detail about there. Okay, and the third and final option is you can also speculate on the direction of the movement. So buy or sell. You're not actually owning the asset itself. You're just speculating using sites like eToro. So you're not actually owning it. How secure is the data? In terms of the integrity of the data, you can't forge a new Bitcoin or a new Ethereum currency. When you join the blockchain, which you would need to do in order to actually own part of the currency, you are in effect downloading that virtual ledger of all transactions which have ever taken place for all the coins in essence. So it's incredibly difficult in that respect. Just a few other questions here. Where does it leave traditional banks? So good question. Where it is decentralized, it has, well, it's away from the banks whatsoever. So the problem which we may face is these banks wanting to tighten regulation behind it. They might see it as competition, future competition. So that's something to be aware of when you're making these investments. Now, on that note, a lot of people are saying that this could potentially be a 21st century safe haven market for exactly that reason. Where it is decentralized, there's no central point of failure. It means that it's kind of safer in that respect. There's no one point of failure. But that's just, again, speculation. There are individuals that may say otherwise. I'll show you Of course, the eToro platform is very different from the typical broker in that they say, they call themselves a social trading investment network, so you can really find out a lot of useful information there. But let me head on over to said website. Here we are. So I'm actually just signed into my virtual account here. Oh, let's just change that. This is one which I use for work. So there we go. There's three main components to the eToro website. You can trade on all different markets, so not just crypto, but also different stocks, indices, commodities, currencies. That's not a problem. What I want to show you particularly today, of course, is the crypto side of things. The second component is the ability to copy other people. So you can look at their trade history, see how they've been performing over the last couple of years, see where they've invested their money, where they're trading, and if you think that's a right match for you, then you could follow them and essentially follow the trades which they are placing, and it will show you all their percentage growth and whatnot. I'll show you that, of course, in a bit more detail. Or there is what they call copy funds, which is this new option, which is essentially just a collection of individuals. So it's kind of diversifying your risk in that respect if you are wanting to follow. What I like particularly about eToro is that where you can follow individuals and you can do those longer term investments. If you're someone who perhaps doesn't have much time on their hands, then you could literally just make an investment and just leave it and come back to it whenever you want. You're not having to go in and out all the time, unless of course you want to do the shorter term trading, which is again a very sound reason. So here we go. I'm just on the trade markets page. There's featured markets here. I could just go across those. It's just a bit of a home page, if I'm completely honest. How we can navigate through these different categories is these boxes up here. So I'm particularly interested in crypto. So if we just give that a click, again, that will show us all the cryptocurrencies which they offer. Now, where I said that there are those three different methods of getting your hands on Ethereum and Bitcoin. The first one being is the digital wallet. A lot of these digital wallets, they only offer Bitcoin or Ethereum. Those are the biggest. Of course, with eToro, you can trade on others. So as always, if you are interested in perhaps newer and up and coming cryptocurrencies, it's just worth looking at the different options available. But here we go. We've got Bitcoin, Dash, that's another cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple. But here we go. We could look, for example, just Bitcoin, just give that market a click. Perhaps we're interested in that. Now, this is the part which I particularly like. And if I'm completely honest, this is how I got into Bitcoin and Ethereum myself. This is how I learned. So there's this feed section where you can just see what other people have posted. You can post yourself, your own speculation or your own thoughts. But I have gone through painstakingly, really, all through this list on many occasions, just to absorb as much knowledge as I can. Now, you shouldn't take this as investment advice, of course. These are just people's thoughts and whatnot, but it really is interesting just reading through this and learning. And you can do this for any market. So, for example, if I want to look at Boeing equity, I can see that they have a feed here, and people are saying like brutal correction today affecting AMD, Activision, Tesla, Apple, Alphabet. We'll be watching these and others in the coming days for sign of recovery and good time to buy back. Things like that. This is stuff which I perhaps before didn't know, but of course, reading through this, it's nice to learn through other people in that respect. But let me just get back onto the Bitcoin page we were looking at previously. So again, that's just the feed. You can see my investment. I just put in some money this morning into this virtual account, of course. It's just saying that currently it's 1% up. We could also look at stats, so see how the market's actually improving. This is something I wanted to show you, of course. We can see that even back in the early 2017, at the very beginning of the month, look how much has actually risen since then. I know a lot of people have said to me that they wanted to get on board with Bitcoin, but they thought they were too late. That was people back in 2016, and it has grown. I showed in the PowerPoint earlier that we've actually gone up 169% for Bitcoin. Ethereum, however, I've only recently heard about that myself in the last couple of months, and I still kick myself considering how much it has risen. But yeah, it's just a lot more information there. We do, of course, have charts as well, and we can drag through those just to see how Bitcoin has done. We could also search for Ethereum up there. Look at those charts. Look at those stats. Or look at the feed there. So yeah, this is just another example. Just a random individual there has posted his thoughts. Just a nice little picture. Sometimes there's links to other websites, little articles. Again, this is how I've learned and got into the cryptocurrency scene myself. Okay, but without further ado, if you want to actually trade it, here you go. There's a trade button top right hand corner. I know I was rabbiting on there, but if we just give that trade button a click, you can choose the amount you wish to invest. It's currently shown in dollars now. Of course, if we were to actually invest and put in pounds, then it would show as pounds. But you can choose the amount you want to invest. You have a stop loss limit. I'm sure that must, for a lot of people here today, they're familiar with those. We just give that a click, and we can put in a specific rate, or there's a percentage of the position amount there. Okay, and we can then just go to open trade if we wanted to, and we'll get that little confirmation. Okay, so that's eToro trading Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll have to wait and see, of course, how the markets actually perform. I think what we're likely to find is come the 1st of August, there's some restructuring of the Bitcoin currency, and there's that period of uncertainty between now and 1st of August. I'm not offering investment advice. I can't do that, but I think that we could see some more growth in the days to come. Just very interesting. Just wait and see. But of course, just reading through the feed, you'll be able to see people's opinions there. Okay. Kieran has just asked, is there a total cost to register with eToro? No, there's no cost there. So just like with a typical broker, there is the spread, the difference between the buy and the sell price, and that's how they would make their money. Marcus just asked, is this different from stake size? And so, yeah, this is the amount you're willing to invest there. As we're on the topic, though, of course, I did mention earlier that there's 3 main components. You can trade the different markets, any market. You can search not just cryptocurrencies. You can also copy other individuals. So I'm just going to give that a click now. Here we'll find individuals on this platform that are currently trading. We have the editor's choice, so a list of who eToro consider perhaps their top traders, or at least at this moment in time. They all have a risk factor. So if you're more risk adverse, you would want a smaller number. If you're perhaps keen to risk a little, perhaps for bigger returns, then the higher number would be more appropriate for you. But we can filter through that and find exactly who you're after. So I'm just going to randomly click on this guy. Actually, if I just head on back for a second. it would give us a bit more information about that individual. Of course, it shows you the number of copiers, so how many people are following that guy, up 9% in the last 7 days, risk factor 5. So I believe it actually goes to 7. That's the most risky. But if we just click on him, we can see his performance in 2016, performance in 2017. We can see, if we go over to portfolio, what he's actually investing in at the moment. So he's got trades in Google, Bitcoin. He's up 8% alone in just that. He's following another individual there, Amazon and whatnot. And if you wanted to follow that individual, all you would need to do, of course, and this would be for any individual, someone you found who you like, you would just add the funds there, the amount you're willing to invest, and you, of course, have a stop loss if you want to actually exit at a certain point. Okay. And there we go. We can also see his performance there as well. He also has his own feed, so people who have been following this guy, or actually, perhaps if Alex was to post himself, you would see all those comments there. Is this trading normal shares using cryptocurrency? I'm afraid I don't fully understand the question, Phil. You can trade, well, you can look for other shares here. So Disney, for example, we can trade on that market as we would with any really. Just go to the trade button, put in the amount you're willing to invest there. You can actually do orders and whatnot as well. Of course, if you want to look exclusively at just the cryptocurrency side of things, you can look at trade markets, crypto, and there you will see the different offerings there. Now, going back to people, I did say that you can actually do an advanced search. So you may want to look at all people who have gained at least 10% over the last 12 months, who have invested primarily in crypto. And so we could just click go, and there we are. It's just given us a list of 336 results. Now, what we can do is further filter that if we wanted to, using these options up here. So you can look at drawdown and whatnot, or what I prefer to do is actually look through these individually. So I'm just going to randomly pick a name. I can see performance 2015, 16, and 17 there. Of course, if there were some previous years where he had a big drawdown, he was down 20%, 30%, and now this year he's showing a pretty modest figure, you may be inclined not to actually follow the individual. So Kieran is asking, are you buying the shares or speculating? You're speculating. And in that respect is very easy and convenient. You can just buy or sell. Of course, that makes for the ability to do shorter term trading, or if you're more interested, the longer term trading. So you're not actually buying any underlying asset. Okay. The third thing, of course, was invest in copy funds. This is just a collection of the certain individuals who meet certain criteria, so or certain markets. We can look at just the crypto funds, the biggest banks, just follow them, the biggest tech companies. You can see the biggest quarterly gainers are all put into one fund in effect, but that typically requires some more money. I think there's a £5,000 minimum to get into those. Hence why I typically just stick to the trade in the markets there and just following the news feed. Of course, we can have a look at my own portfolio. This is just something that I put together earlier though, but we can see the amount invested, the profit loss for each one of those, and of course, as I was actually trading Bitcoin over Ethereum, you can see the percentage there. Okay, now If you need any more information, of course, there is a guide button here. They will show you around. Withdrawing funds is very easy itself. You can invite friends, and there's actually I think you get then £20 into your account for doing so, both of you. So in that respect, it's very nice. You can search for those individuals and see how they're performing. If you wish to show your performance to other people, that's not a problem. Rory's just said, confused what the site is offering. I just want to clarify that in that case. Again, you have the three options to actually trade and invest Bitcoin. You have owning a wallet, but it's probably the least user-friendly option. Also, you have to be very careful. There's the second, the mining, which is really only for those who are particularly tech savvy. And then there's speculating on the price movements, in which you could then do it as shorter term trading or longer term trading. And that's exactly what eToro can provide you there. You would not actually be buying the shares or whatnot. This is just purely speculating, and obviously reaping the benefit from it if it goes up if you're buying, or if you're selling, if it goes down, reaping the benefit there as well. Now, as I say, we have actually sent all of those who have attended today the the little book which we put together, which goes in a bit more detail about the currencies themselves and the places where you can actually buy and sell. And we have an exit survey as part of today's webinar. So if you were to exit, it would automatically be prompted up. If you could just fill that in, that would be fantastic. Just if you need any additional help with regards to eToro. Again, in my experience, it is a very easy way of getting into the crypto scene, for lack of better words. It really is the easiest option in that respect. Phil just asked, isn't it virtually impossible for an individual to mine cryptocurrency? So actually, that's a good point. So for Bitcoin now, it's very difficult for individuals to mine, because where it's been around for quite some time, and if you were to start mining on the very first day that it came out, you would be a millionaire. You just would. The longer it's been in a circulation, the harder it is then to mine future blocks. For the likes of Ethereum, which is newer, and some would say has a lot more potential, where that is newer, it is therefore easier to mine at this stage. There are literally data centers dedicated to mining these cryptocurrencies, but I'm sure we don't have, the majority of us don't have those in our back garden. Stuart has just asked, what about up and coming like Coinspace, etc.? So yeah, you do have like the different digital wallets. Just of course, make sure if that's the avenue which you want to go down, that your money is safe. So what I mean by that is perhaps try putting some money in and then try taking the money out. There has unfortunately been examples where it has been very difficult to do so. And that, again, is a flaw of the digital wallet side of things. And so for security, of course, that's why the likes of eToro is preferred for some individuals. It is just a convenient and simple way of speculating on the price movements there. Kieran has asked, what is the risk of current or future cryptocurrencies going bust? Now, unfortunately, I don't have my crystal ball in front of me, but now smaller cryptocurrencies, the less established cryptocurrencies out there, of course, they lost the first mover advantage. Bitcoin has claimed that title. Ethereum has done pretty nicely following behind, and a lot of people speculate that it could very well soon outperform Bitcoin. But I think perhaps the smaller ones, they're trying to grab onto the same success, and probably less likely to do so. So in that respect, perhaps, of course, if you're not actually owning the asset and you can set your stops and your limits, you would be protected in that respect. As for Bitcoin, we said earlier about future regulations, these banks not necessarily wanting the competition. We'll have to wait and see. But the blockchain technology, the technology which is behind all of these, it is the future for businesses. And I showed earlier, actually, if we head on over back to the PowerPoint. Oh, 1 second, just gone a bit funny there. Can everyone still see my screen? Sorry, I think we've just had a bit of a technical difficulty there. I just wanted to show the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance slide again, where of course these are businesses which are adopting the blockchain technology behind Ethereum. So it really is being advocated by these businesses. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Just a round of yeses would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Barry. Well, that actually probably leads me on to the last slide here. So I wanted to keep this nice and short. Just some next steps. Of course, you're welcome just to call us for more information or email us. We did send out that guide. Please give us any feedback you might have. It goes in a bit more detail as to the technology behind everything. For trading support, of course, you can just give us a call. We do work with a variety of different brokers and trading solutions. So perhaps if you're wanting to spread bet and you want smaller stake sizes, we can help in that respect. But again, thank you for attending. If you have any questions, I could look to answer those now. Just worth mentioning again, we do have that exit survey. If you could fill that in as well, that'd be fantastic. Okay, so bear with me as the questions come in now. So Barry has asked, if you enter a buy trade for a cryptocurrency and the price falls substantially, are you subject to the same margin calls as when buying shares? Yeah, so in that respect, yes, but you could set your stopping your limits to something which you're comfortable with. Okay. Now there's a few more questions coming through there. Bear with me 1 second, please. So Kieran has asked, how long has eToro been around? It's actually been around since 2006, and they were the first what we call social trading platforms where you can, in effect, follow other people. So that's 2006. They are regulated, FCA regulated, so in effect that means that your money is protected there by the FCA. That's it. Oh, another question. What bank deal with Bitcoin and Ethereum? Henrietta asked. Now, as I mentioned earlier, where it's kind of separate from banks, what you will find is that it's a peer-to-peer payment system. It cuts out middlemen such as the banks. If you're curious as to who's accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum as payment, Subway, the food outlet, they actually sell, well, you can buy using cryptocurrencies there, Bitcoin, select stores, of course. You can actually go to ATM machines in like Central America, and you can actually buy some Bitcoin there. It's quite funny. But more and more places are adopting this. There was actually a funny story about an individual good couple of years ago. He brought a pizza using Bitcoin. And of course, since then, the price of Bitcoin has exploded. And that pizza, in effect, cost him several million pounds because of where the price increased. As I said, it's gone up roughly 170% this year alone. Ethereum, which is currently at the $200 price mark, as opposed to the $2,000, which is roughly where Bitcoin is at, has more potential, and a lot of people are saying that it could actually beat Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, had the first mover advantage. That's why they are a bit of a household name now. But the technology behind these Bitcoins is always worth looking into, because Ethereum has more potential other than just the currency side of things. Oh, Barry just said quite rightfully, how about the guy who had 7,500 Bitcoin in a wallet on his hard drive, which he then mistakenly put in the rubbish, currently worth about $21 million? Yeah, that's a very good point, Barry. Yeah, I've heard a few horror stories exactly like that. The poor guys. Yeah. But I think that brings today's session to an end. Any questions, just email us using the address here, and of course we'll get round to answering those. If you would like any assistance with the eToro platform, of course, give ourselves a call or just drop us an email. In fact, what I'll probably do is make sure a link to open a demo live account is provided. If you're interested in Bitcoin or Ethereum or cryptocurrencies, if you're new to it, I would say probably the best thing to do is start by opening a platform such as eToro, and then if you grow your interest, perhaps then you could look at actually owning the underlying asset itself. But this really is the easiest way to get into the scene. And as I showed you, there is that feed feature, which is where I learnt about this. And I'm sure many of you who attended today could also similarly learn. Ali has just said, interested to have some Bitcoins. We'll chat to you at some point. No problem. Anyone who just wants a call, just drop in the message box and we'll get round to calling everyone. But thank you, everyone who's attended today. It's been a good turnout there. So thank you very much. I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye for now.